Hello, everybody. This is Scooby.
And that means I'm Steven, and you guys are here for another episode of The Feedback, where we get together and share a new song with each other, and then by proxy, you, hopefully the listener that is here with us today, and then we'll discuss what it makes us think about, or reminds us of, or how we feel about that song, and then just dive off into the ether after that. As per tradition, I have brought 3 drinks today, not 2. I want to get back up on your level of 3 drinks. I have a juicier bomb, again, because I got an 8 pack of them and they will be gone after 8 recordings. I have a straight from Taco Bell Baja Blast,
Ooh, hell
the
yeah.
original, the exclusive, the one and only, and then my high quality H2O. Scoobs has brought the song today, so why don't you let us know what that is, and then what drinks you brought and how many, and if you trump me.
I'm going to do that in the reverse order you requested me to. I only have
Deal.
2 drinks, so you have trumped me today.
Huzzah!
Today I have a Gatorade Zero what light blue. What is the actual what glacier something glacier freeze? No one knows the names of
Not unless you're a
Gatorade.
cop.
It's just it's the color. It's
It's
red,
color. You
it's
said light blue, and I
orange.
knew what you
Yeah.
meant.
Yeah. I like the light blue and I like the green. The dark green. Sorry.
Thank you
I,
for clarifying.
what are the flavors? Hell if I know, but it's also Gatorade Zero because I gotta watch the sugar. Gatorade though is one of those drinks that I find that I don't really mind drinking the zero sugar version. Thank goodness. And then I also have some water. And I did have a Baja Blast earlier today, straight from Taco Bell. I stopped on the way home, but
Hell yeah, Baja Twins, baby.
that has long been consumed. So yeah.
Blast Bros.
Oh, that's a. I don't know about that one. Yeah, I'm sure it has exited my body in the form of urine some hours ago.
Invisible
Anyways,
ink.
yeah,
Invisible ink.
that's right. I did bring the song today, and I have brought a track by the band 12 Foot Ninja. Now, I don't know if you have heard of them.
I have not.
I don't know that much about them, honestly. It's one of those songs that came up in my Spotify just explorations when I was trying to find new music, and I heard this song and I was like, I really like this. And then I heard another song by them and I was like, ooh, I really like this too. And then you would think that's when I would fall down the rabbit hole and be like, let me check out everything. But I just kind of stopped there. I'm sure I will fall down that rabbit hole eventually. But as of right now, I'm like, these 2 songs are great, and I'm just going to listen to them. You know how that goes sometimes, where you discover a new artist and you're like, I want to check them out, but I can't deal with new things right now.
Oh, I get that completely. That's happened for me a time or two. But I was gonna say, I gotta say, I am greatly impressed that you haven't gone down that rabbit hole because I feel like you're prone to that slippery slope.
I am. And like I said, I do think it's going to happen, but I am currently in another rabbit hole with a video game. And when, like, I kind of, you understand, the ADHD, I'm hyper focused. So I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm playing a new game. So I can't really listen to new music because that's too much new stuff at the
yeah,
same
because the
time.
new game has new music.
It does. It's very French and it's very good. And I found myself just listening to the soundtrack to it the other day at work. And my
Hey,
boss was
that's a
like,
good thing.
yeah, my boss was like, what are you listening to? And I said, oh, it's just music from the game I've been playing. It's very French. And he said, I didn't want to make any judgments, but I was going to say it sounds really French. So he wasn't wrong. Lots of accordion. So yeah,
Unless they say omelette du fromage, I won't know anything.
most of the French they say is merde and putain. I haven't said the name of the game yet. It's Expedition 33. If anyone's wondering, if you have played it, you probably knew what I was talking about when I started talking about it being French. 12 Foot Ninja though are
I'm
not
not familiar
French.
with. I'm not familiar with the game or 12 Foot Ninja. So sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. 12 Foot Ninja, not French. They're actually Australian. So I looked up a little bit of history because that's what we tend to do. They formed back in 2007. And the song I have chosen today is called Portrait Number One. And it's from their second EP, which came out back in 2008, which was called New Dawn. So they've been active for a very long time, nearly 20 years at this point. In 2021, however, the lead vocalist Nick Barker left the band, and then in 2024 they decided to go on hiatus. However, as of this year, they have returned, but with only one returning member of the original band who was like, I'm just going to restart the band with all new people. And I haven't heard any more about them after that. I guess it's still a work in progress.
Yeah, I can imagine that it's pretty hard to reform the entire band, right?
Yeah, we're getting the band back together. It's the Blues Brothers.
Getting the band back together.
On a mission from God. So, at the time of this recording, and I believe the lineup had stayed the same since the very beginning, I actually only have 4 members listed. Nick Barker on vocals, Steve McKay on lead guitar, Rohan Hayes on rhythm guitar, and Shane Russell on drums. I'm not sure if that means they didn't have a bassist or they only had studio musicians and touring musicians to fill that position. But
That's an interesting thought.
Unknown to me. When they returned this year, Steve McKay is the only returning member, the lead guitarist. And I don't know if that means he's the primary songwriter or not. I'd have to imagine that's the case if he's the one that has the grounds to be like, I'm reforming the band. Unless there's going to be one of those situations where you have the bands that, like, half the members split off and do one thing, and the other half splits off and does another, and they fight over the band name.
Yeah.
But I have not seen any drama like that, at least.
That's interesting. It's always curious to know about that stuff. So hopefully, either someone else comes in here later and says, hey, I'm actually a huge fan of this people, blah, 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 and gives us the whole story so we can get looped in on that. Or maybe some news story will come out. Who knows? But I'm curious as to why that would be. And I'm curious if they will put anything else out, since they did try to restart again and get a band together to reform it.
Yeah. And the overarching genre of the band is metal, but I also put like a fusion tag onto that, and I don't know if that's something that they would do, but there's a lot of stylistic changes in the song, at least in what I have heard of their music. They kind of play with genre, which is something I always appreciate. And that's kind of what caught my ear about this song, is like, yeah, it's a metal song, but it switches gears a lot, which you, Steven, and you, the listener, will hear as we progress through it.
I'm excited for that. I like when things change around and they have a growth within the song or within an album or something like that, like where you can see the sound changing.
Yeah.
I like seeing that. It's fun.
Those sort of just like switch ups. It's, you listen to a lot of rap and hip hop. I kind of dabble in it, but it's almost like when you're listening to one of those songs and there's like a beat switch, you're like, ooh, and it just tickles your brain.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I like when my brain gets tickled.
Me too.
I don't like when it's itchy and I can't scratch it, though.
That does suck. Not a fan of that.
Hey, you know what I forgot to do?
No.
This.
I don't know what this is.
I didn't open my Juicier bomb yet.
Oh, I didn't hear it. That was a very quiet open.
Damn, you know what? Now it's ruined.
I'll just
Ready?
do some. We'll insert some Foley work in post. It'll be fine.
Something that's, if you can't hear it in post for real, then put something really terribly bad in there on purpose.
I'll just pull one of our other can opens from an old episode and make it as genuine as I can.
I don't want that.
Oh,
I want janky. I'm excited to hear 12-Foot Ninja. Oh, you know what I want to say before we go on? When you said that they were from Australia, for whatever reason, I didn't even think that they would be anything other than metal. I don't know why. Maybe it's because Parkway Drive is from there, and there's a lot of other metal bands.
I was gonna say, like, when I think Australian band, my mind jumps to Parkway Drive. So,
right. What are your main exports? Snakes and metal bands.
Yeah. Can I think of any other Australian artist at this very moment? No.
Are there any?
I'm thinking about Bluey, and I don't think that counts.
Nope. Definitely
Okay.
doesn't count.
So
Sorry.
whoever sang Burger Dog in Bluey, Australian artist. There you go.
Are you positive?
Burger Dog. Burger Dog. Yeah, I think so. I would hope so. Everyone else in that show is Australian. Like, legitimately, so.
That's fair. That's fair. All right. Well, hey, let's listen to another thing from Australia today.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
From the land of Oz, we will listen to Portrait Number 1 by 12 Foot Ninja.
I assure you I am real. You're thinking, how could that be? How could a man be so serene? Such a vision of power. Well, my dear, it's plain to see. I am a man with everything. From the flowers bow to me when they behold their Lord. Whatever you want, consider it done. Be there, everything your deepest desires. For I am of a man. Whatever you want, consider it done. I'll be there. Tell me all your deepest desires. For I am of a man. From the time I was conceived, I would become the greatest king. Bring the people to their knees. Shower them with love. The mystics had foreseen. I realized the prophecy. Deliver this world from the enemy. Unify us all as one. Whatever you want, consider it done. Be there, everything your deepest desires. For I am of a man. Whatever you want, consider it done. I'll be there. Tell me all your deepest desires. For I am of a man. To me, it's all a game. Committed in my name. My currency of pain. I'll cast the world into the flames. It's not easy to be me. Got a lot of responsibilities. In such popularity, I feel like I could cry. I give it all and they can see I'm a brilliant entity, emitting glorious energy. By the grace of God, so I. Whatever you want, consider it done. Be there, everything your deepest desires. For I am of a man. Whatever you want, consider it done. I'll be there. Tell me all your deepest desires. For I am of a man. To me, it's all a game. Committed in my name. My currency of pain. I'll cast the world into the flames. Ooh, I love to be me, baby. Ooh, I make you love me, you know, baby. Yeah, whatever you want, consider it done. Be there, everything your deepest desires. For I am of a man. Whatever you want, consider it done. I'll be there. Tell me all your deepest desires. For I am of a man. Whatever you want, consider it done. Be there, everything your deepest desires. For I am of a man. Whatever you want, consider it done. I'll be there. Tell me all your deepest desires. For I am of a man.
All right. So that was the song Portrait Number 1 by 12 Foot Ninja off of their EP that I already forgot the name of, New Dawn, 2008. And I'm sure you have thoughts, but something clicked in my head while I was listening to the song. I've heard it a couple times. I tend to compare bands to other bands. Be like, oh, they sound kind of like this band. And to me, I was like, this kind of sounds like early Incubus. I can hear that. But then I was like, this is what it would sound like if Jamiroquai played metal.
I'm not familiar with Jamiroquai.
Virtual Insanity. That's the song everyone knows. Or Canned Heat, the song that Napoleon Dynamite dances to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It's a very funky song. Oh, that's Gatorade being poured. I'm not peeing. I apologize.
Now I think you're peeing. Everyone
Yeah.
thinks you're peeing.
It's a really funky song. And then there's that switch into the chunky, distorted guitars. And it's almost like a jump scare in music form, because it's a really smooth, funky song, and then those guitars kick in, and there's also just a lot of discordant sounds in the background for that little passage, and then it switches back into that smooth, happy, funky sound. And that's the sort of thing I was talking about with the stylistic change, where it's like, whoa, where did that come from? And then it's right back to the smooth jams.
Yeah, so I actually wrote the first note I put on here is, did he say metal? Did I imagine that?
Right, because it doesn't sound like it until it hits that moment where you see all the guitars just like stomp on their pedal, and you're like, okay, there we are.
Yeah. Yeah, and I wrote down that it feels like a funk pop fusion.
Right. Yeah,
And
definitely.
I liked it. I liked it for what I was hearing before. I don't want to say I dislike, because I don't dislike. I wish there was either more on that, more of that, like that little bit of that grunge in the pedal, because it left me wanting more, and it felt like it could have been used in more places. Like for me, I think when they did come in, it felt like it was a change in feeling for the song too, both lyrically, right?
Yes.
So to me, I feel like there's a part where you can do like when you did the whatever you want, consider it done, baby, that line. You could have done it one way clean, one way distorted. Especially at the end when they do it a couple of times in a row. Because then it can go from being like that upbeat, funky, I'm trying to tell you, like, it would go from sounding romantic to sounding very sinister.
Yeah.
And that feels like it's what they were trying to do. And maybe I'm missing that. Maybe it was just their playfulness of it, and maybe I'm looking into like that side of it too much, because it's not a bad song. It's very, very good. And that's why I said I don't want to use the word dislike, because I wanted a little bit more. I feel like it's really good, and I really like where it's going, and I like that callback to Incubus, because it does have that feeling with like the lyrical style of the funk parts.
Yeah.
So that's a great like hit on the head on that one for sure.
I wonder too, because you brought up, how it could feel sinister, and to me this feels like a very tongue-in-cheek song almost.
Mm-hmm.
One of the big tropes of metal, and it's kind of fallen by the wayside, at least these days. It has always been like, big tough guy metal, I'm the man,
Yep.
like, don't fuck with me. And that's why this
Yup.
song feels like it could really be tongue-in-cheek, because the lyrics really are about, I'm so amazing, I would become the greatest king, bring the people to their knees.
Mm-hmm.
Just lyrics like that, and you're like, is this guy really full of himself, or is he, like, taking the piss? You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. Especially with that really good. I was toe tapping and dancing the whole time that was being played. Like that was great. And it's like you said, like it's like that. What's the phrase? Like you're smiling while saying something completely different, right? What's that phrase? There's a word for it, or a phrase for it.
I'm not sure what
I
you're
don't know.
going for.
It's like the like a wolf in sheep's clothing kind of a thing. Like you're selling snake oil while saying like how great it is and all that stuff at the same time, kind of thing. Like
Yeah. Subterfuge.
you're smiling but you're talking shit.
Yeah. I'm not quite. I feel like you're hunting for a specific term, but like
I am. I can't
think
find
of
it. It's okay. I'll think about it in 2 weeks and I'll tell you.
Okay.
But yeah, like it feels like that. I agree with you. I'm trying to find the right way or the right word for that, but that's okay. But yes.
Yeah, because the lyrics are literally, how many times does he say, I am the man?
At least a dozen.
Yeah. I do think that part of it being the whole tongue-in-cheek thing is also when it does switch into that heavier moment, like the lyrics become, to me it's all a game. I have all this, I'm so great and I'm amazing, and I don't really give a shit. I can do whatever I want because I'm the man.
Yeah, I want to say it right now because I don't want to forget to, but like, to me, the best line of the entire like pompousness of all of it, the cherry on the top of everything, is I give it all and they can see I am a brilliant entity, emitting glorious energy by the grace of gods I go, or go I.
Yeah. It really is just like, it's the sort of thing that you would hear from a villain in a superhero movie or like a video game where you get to the end and they're giving their monologue or their soliloquy about how great they are and I am a brilliant entity, and you're like, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It was like when we were talking about it, I don't know if that was post-recording or in episode, but the Incredibles, you got me monologuing.
Oh yeah. I think that was off the record, but we definitely dove into that for a little bit.
Yes. You got me monologuing. You almost got me. But yeah, every evil genius has to have that moment.
Oh yeah.
But, like, and like you said too, like they talked about themselves being a king, and like from the very beginning, like it's just the whole time. It's like, really?
Yeah, and then later on, it's not easy to be me. Got a lot of responsibilities.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And such popularity, I feel like I could cry. Oh, it's so hard being so great.
I've got so many people that want to talk to me and be me. Ugh.
Yeah. Oh, life's
Do you have
difficult.
any idea? Any idea how hard it is to be me?
Exactly.
Where's Big D when you need him?
And that's the thing, too. Like, I feel like everyone kind of knows someone like this. It's not worth arguing with them, so you just smile and nod, and you're like, yeah. And then you don't associate with them. Or
you do your best not to.
Yeah, you associate with them as little as possible, where you're just like,
yeah.
All right, it's necessary for me to interact with you, but I will do it.
Oh, them? Yeah, I know them.
Yeah. I'll do it as little as I can.
It's better off sometimes.
Yeah.
It's part of the healing process.
Agreed.
I have a question.
I may have an answer.
The other song that you listen to,
yes,
are there more distortion moments, or is it about the same?
It's actually similar to this, but the lyrical content is at least a little more serious. Not that this isn't serious, but like I said, to me, this song feels very tongue-in-cheek. The other song that I really like by them that I know of is called Ain't That a Bitch? And it's actually about healing from trauma and throwing it back into the other person's face. Oh, wow, like, I healed from this. Doesn't that suck for you? Like, you didn't affect me as much as you thought you did.
Right.
And
that's awesome.
It kind of does have the same feel where I would say it's not quite as funk-oriented, but it does have that sort of more poppy feel, and then it will kick into the distortion and grunge and then go back to that sort of lighter feel. And that's part of why I do want to dive into their discography and see if that is one of their constants, you know what I mean? Or if they do have songs that are just going to be like straight up in your face, heavy the whole time.
Right. I'm curious to know that as well. The other song that you listened to, do you know if it was off the same EP?
No, it was off a later album.
Okay, so that being that, like that's kind of what I'm trying to get at, to see how closely like time related it was. So if it's off a later album, I just want to go ahead and say, like, what are the chances that these are two one-offs? If one was from the beginning and one is from the end, not the end, but later.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible, because, so this song, is off of the New Dawn EP from 2008, and then the other song that I spoke about, Ain't That a Bitch, is off of Silent Machine, which is from 2012. So
Yeah, that's
4
far enough
years
away
in
where...
between. Yeah.
But then again, I mean, we've done a cover on things. Like the episode that never... I don't know, wait. AFI did come out. Yeah, that was the first one,
That
right?
was our very first one, yeah.
That's correct. We talked about them, and they were a very different sound for their first two albums before they switched up and then kind of kept that sound for the rest of their career.
Oh, yeah. They started off just like hardcore punk, and then
Yeah.
started to lean into the whole goth thing like pretty hard and had more industrial elements, actually, I think. But one of my favorite things that I saw recently is how you can create a family portrait just with Davey Havok throughout the years.
That's funny.
He's in his dad era now, and then he was in his mom era back in the Sing the Sorrow days with the heavy eye makeup and the long hair, and then just pick any other iteration of him as the kids.
Exactly. Especially the early on ones.
Yeah. But
No,
yeah,
that's really funny. I like that.
for me, actually, when I make a playlist for this episode, will be me kind of getting to check out more of their stuff that I have not done yet, because, like I said, it's really only been the 2 songs. And I'll
Right.
be able to be like, oh, okay, so this kind of is their jam, where that's what they do, or I'll find something else and be like, oh no, like, it's weird that I found the 2 songs that they really do that in.
For real. Maybe this will be your Lola Young, because, full disclosure, we didn't come back and say it yet, but I have done a full deep dive on her, and I am a big fan of everything I've heard so far. So maybe this will become that for you, where you'll listen to that to see what else existed and be like, oh man, oh, this is bad. I am hooked.
Yeah. I would have no problems with that. I love discovering new music, that's why we do this show.
Exactly. I'm not even gonna pretend like I'm 1000% going to put this on later and try to see what else they have. So I might hear more from them before you, because I really liked hearing what they played, and I'm kind of curious what else they do, especially in Ain't That a Bitch. I'm kind of curious. I want to hear that one too. I'm probably gonna listen to that next myself. I'm not gonna wait for the playlist. Sorry.
No, that's fine.
Because this sounds like it's in like I've been getting into like a weird funk with music where I'm going to different random stuff that I want to listen to, and I keep thinking about other things that I want to listen to instead, and then remembering that other things exist and then not getting into it. But I feel like I've been like trying to fight myself to figure what I want to listen to, because I'm not sure where I want to go right now,
Right.
and I think this might be it.
Hey, yeah.
At least for now.
Yeah, I get that, because I'll be completely honest. There are phases where I can't actually find something that it clicks in my brain where I'm like, this is what I want to listen to. And
Yeah.
I will take breaks from music. I'll be like, I'm just going to listen to podcasts for a while. And it's never long. It's usually like 3-4 days where I'm like, yeah, I'll just listen to some podcasts and flush out the brain of music and then dive back into something.
That's fair. So my kid has been really big into music, so I give him the phone on the drive to school and the drive home, and he has a few songs that he likes to really play that are on like his number ones that he'll listen to on the way there and on the way home to get himself prepared, and then also like wind down, which I think is amazing that he's already that involved in music. But yeah, like, so anytime I drop him off, I'll just have complete silence for the way home, because not that what he listens to is bad, but it's just that he listens to the same 3 songs there
Yeah.
and back every single time. And it's like, there are songs that I know and love, and then there's songs that he's introduced me to that I really enjoy. And they're all I hear now, twice a day, every day,
Yeah.
minimum.
By,
So
I
I
get
just
that.
need I need silence to just cleanse my brain and ready for it for the next time. Because that, like we've talked about before, like when you start to listen to something, that's all you want to listen to.
Yeah.
So for me to go from something that's so drastically different to listening to like him and his 3 hard lefts, because it'll be Olivia Rodriguez, she's fantastic, Harry Styles, amazing. And then it's either Blink-182 or Vampire Weekend. Again, zero complaints.
Yeah.
But when it's the same 3 songs or the same 4th song switched in when he wants to, it's like, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. So she's progressed beyond it now, but when my niece was younger, like her 2 favorite songs were 24 Karat Magic by Bruno Mars and Justin Timberlake, I can't remember what song it is. Can't Stop the Feeling.
I was going to say, is it the one from Trolls?
Yeah, I love Bruno Mars and I love JT, so like I had no problem, but it was just those 2 songs over and over and over, and I was like, can we at least listen to different songs by them? Like,
yeah,
throw on some Cry Me a River or some Treasure. Like, come on.
Right.
But she was
so much.
She was like 4 of those. I'm not, so
exactly.
I'm not gonna be like, no, we can't listen to your favorite song.
Well, what breaks my heart is that when my kid was 3.5, 4 years old, and we were listening to records, he was skanking in the room with me because we were listening to Motion City Soundtrack, and we were listening to like other music through a playlist on my phone. We were Bluetoothing in, and we were just listening to like Less Than Jake, and we're like skanking around in the room. And now I try to put it on. He's like, "No, it's too much for me. I don't like it." And I'm like, oof. "Oh, you used to be so much cooler."
My heart. Speaking of, though, Motion City Soundtrack did just put out a new album.
I saw that. I listened to one of the songs. I don't dislike it, but I need to listen to it again and be prepared for it because it does sound like some good old, MCS. But I wasn't like, I heard it and I was like, I want to listen to this again before I judge, because they're older. They took a break for a while. You got to see what they're doing, what they're thinking.
Yeah.
They clearly took a break for some reason, and if it was for like differences on what they want to do sound wise, and then this is what they came to terms with, and then I have to have an open mind to accept, that they're back, or just continue to listen to the old stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. I think everyone knows that Justin Pierre he's very open about his mental health struggles. That's always played a big part in their music, just in general. And I wonder if that had something to do where it was just like, I just need a break, man.
That's true.
So, yeah, I actually haven't listened to any of the new stuff yet, but I do know it's out there.
I feel like I got like an ad for it, like listening to like different, because there's every time again where I go through those doom scrolls where I click on one video and then I'm just like flip. Oh god, it's been a half an hour. Fuck.
Yeah.
But like I feel like I had a clip of that album, and that's where I have the exposure to the song. So like again, I don't really know what to think of it because it's not like a proper listen.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because we've talked about that before, where you listen to a song one time and you might hear one part of it, and then you want to go back and hear another part of it and another part of it. Because with Motion City Soundtrack, you kind of have to, at least in my opinion. We've talked about them before, but another drummer singer is just, again, another one for the artists that we know that exist. That's a crazy one too to me. I always think that it's wild that drummers can sing at the same time. The amount of rhythm they have to do and breathing to do all that, like.
Oh yeah.
Come on.
One of my recent bands that I've discovered that I really like, and actually when I say recent, it's like 3 years at this point, but there's a band called Don Broco that I really like, and the drummer does sing quite a bit, actually. Like, they have a lead vocalist, but the drummer, I would say, sings probably 40 to 50% of the time as well. So, I was in a band where the drummer would sing, and I'd be like, I don't know how you do that. Like, I could barely play guitar and sing. I could barely sing.
Yeah, exactly. Like, even just that.
Yeah.
No, that's impressive. I'm always, anybody that's doing 2 things at once, both instrumentally and vocally, just is fantastic. I mean, even just saying like doing backup stuff still, like you can get yourself tripped up on it and you forget what you're supposed to be doing, and you don't strum when you're supposed to. Like the whole song's gonna be like, it's gonna be off.
Yep, that was me a lot of the time. when they were like, "Oh, Scoops, you should sing." I'd be like, "I really don't want to," and they'd be like, "Oh, you should though, you should." And I'd be like,
I'm gonna blow it.
"I can try."
If you say so.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's tough.
yeah, it wasn't really my jam. I was like, I'll just stay in the back and do my thing, man.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you. I don't know that I could ever do it. I think we tried to do it one time to see if it was possible for me to do some kind of something if we were gonna like try to put something out, and it was not possible. I could not do it.
Yeah,
I could not follow rhythm with one thing while thinking about what I was supposed to be doing vocally at the exact same time. I can scratch my head and pat my stomach. I can do that, but like
yeah,
I couldn't grasp strumming and moving my hand and singing.
yeah. It takes a lot of practice, and I don't know if I'm not that super interested in singing, I'm probably not going to practice it that much. That's all. I'd
Yeah,
rather
exactly.
focus on the thing I want to focus on.
If it doesn't scratch your brain the way you want it to be scratched, you're not going to pay attention to it. We just talked about that.
Yeah, I mean, I did go through phases where I was like, oh, I wish I was a better singer, but not enough to like take voice lessons or anything like that. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I get that.
but I am interested actually now to wrap this back around. I wonder if there's any harsh vocals in any of their tracks. 12 Foot Ninja, that is, because
Yeah, I'm very curious too.
I don't think there's any in the other track I mentioned. So, I mean, he's got a great voice.
Oh, absolutely.
I think it's kind of I do think it's kind of unique for this style of music. I think the style of music they play, just from what I've heard, is pretty unique in general. Just those pretty hard switches, because like metal is a genre that can be mixed with pretty much anything. Like there's been a lot of exploration with metal. You know, symphonic metal has always been big, where it's like we're going to make it operatic and put strings and all this. And then I can think of a reggae metal band. I don't know if you remember Skindred, but that was a thing. And they were pretty
I
cool.
do remember that vaguely. It does sound familiar, but I'm not. Yeah.
Yeah, and then like funk metal has sort of always been a thing. There have been bands that just kind of did that. Early Incubus, Primus is a good example, though Primus is very hard to categorize as well. And yeah, here, 12 Foot Ninja. You know, how many times have we said, yeah, it's real funky?
Right. I was actually just gonna say I want to propose like a question to you, and I mean it's an open-ended one, but like I know for me, if they're classifying themselves as metal,
Mm-hmm.
then I either need to hear more grunge and distortion, or I need to hear more harsh vocals, because otherwise this isn't, to me, and again, like this is like one of the first times I'm gonna hold this like an elitist opinion, quote unquote, heavy on the sarcasm, whatever you want to say there. But like this to me doesn't say metal. This says it could be metal, but it's the same way that like A Day to Remember says that they're hardcore or whatever they classify themselves as.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know
I
what I
get
mean?
you're
Like
saying.
so like I can hear like the notions of metal where we talked about it before, and those two very distinct parts. You can tell that was part of the song. It was done stylistically, at least it would seem so. And where we thought like where else it could have fit in stylistically. So I can see like where they're using it, but like I wouldn't say just because they had a little distortion at any point that they're metal. Because even the vocals, they weren't even that quote unquote aggressive or even like grungy or distorted themselves. They were very just like a 30 Seconds to Mars song.
Right. Well,
Right?
then here's something that I want to ask you then, because let's go back to the song that I brought last time, which was by Sleep Token, who, again, people kind of call them a metal band, but the particular song I brought, like, would you have called that metal?
I don't know. I think it's hard to say. Let me look at
Which,
my notes real quick. Let me see what I wrote down.
yeah, and just, if anyone listening did not listen to the last episode, first of all, go do that. But second, I brought Euclid by Sleep Token, which Sleep Token, huge right now, like very popular. And of course, as all popular bands are popular, they have their fair amount of detractors. And one of the biggest complaints is that fans of Sleep Token, a lot of them call them metal, and the gatekeepers are like, oh, they're not really metal. But it's hard to make that distinction, because if a band has a lot of metal elements, does it make them a metal band that you can classify them as such, or are they a insert genre here band with metal influence? Like here, where you're saying 12 Foot Ninja sounds like a kind of funk / rock band with metal influences, but not a metal band.
Mm-hmm. So I went back to double check some of the stuff that I wrote down to remember a little bit more about the things that we had, since that was my first listen to the song. I do remember you saying that there was like a trap hip hop element to it, but this song wasn't one of those. And I remember, looping back to all that. And I was trying to remember, I remember there were parts of it that felt like they were metal influenced and they had metal feel to them. But I could see how there might be other songs that might be played that would be more. And I remember wanting to hear what else they had to see, because this was like a kind of a recap of that whole album, correct? There was that motif of all the different parts.
Yeah, and it pulled elements from other songs from other albums as well. Earlier
Right.
albums.
So it had all those different things going on. So for me, I was listening to it and thinking of it as like almost like a ballad sign off for a metal album, because I've heard those plenty of times from different bands and different tracks. And so for me, I wasn't entirely sure to say whether it would or wouldn't be, and I wouldn't be able to classify the whole band off of the one song, but the one song that I heard, I wouldn't say would necessarily be considered metal just off that song.
Right.
Whether or not they have more metal, like they have a lot of metal sound, so that's where I was like, maybe they are a metal band. I'd have to hear what else they played to kind of remember and know. And or not remember, rather, but actually have like the ability to form that opinion, because I would have to hear it.
Right.
The same thing with this band. This could be one of those things where he's showcasing that he does have a voice that he can do things with in other ways, or something like maybe someone made like a comment, like, I'm not saying this is the case clearly, but like people be like, oh, you have such a good voice, you should sing more, you should use those elements more, we would love to hear what it is. And like maybe that's what his response was like, hey, fuck you, I know I have it, but like I'm just so good, right? I'm just so amazing, I need to do this, right? Like maybe it's like a slap back to them.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why I want to hear what else they do before I make a full assumption on it, because like just off of this song, it feels, who knows? And then you said there was one other song that sounded kind of like this, so if it's still like that, I'd be like, oh, okay, who knows? But like, if they still have the small amount of grunge that they have, it feels like I would need more of it to fully say that it's a metal band versus a post-metal influenced with rock fusion, something else. You know what I mean? Like, because again, there's all those millions of different classifications. And I don't know what it says for me, what I would classify metal, but I feel like it needs to have more, it has to have something. Because like there's random songs with Fall Out Boy where Pete screams. That doesn't make it metal, that just makes it kind of like a grungier song. But if he was screaming in every single song, then I would say, yeah, it's still a metal band, because there are metal bands where like there's a screamer that screams in every song no matter what, and then there's other parts of it too, because like it still has that, and they still have more of like a punk sound than more of a metal sound in their instruments. But you can drop tune that and add a distortion pedal to any one of those songs and it's already ready to go.
Yeah.
Right? Like you can do very little to change it around to make it into like a punk metal song easily. Yeah. So like same thing with this.
Yeah, I think it's also worth noting, and like I said, we haven't delved enough into the library to know that like this is their first EP. So
right.
This could be just like they're still trying to find their sound too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which, if this is their sound, it makes sense that a track I heard from an album 4 years later has similarities to this. Or
right.
like we're saying, it could just be like I happened to find one or the two songs that share these similarities.
Well, yeah. So like, just to say it right here, like if you listen to A Day to Remember and you listen to If It Means a Lot to You, and then you also listen to Since You've Been Gone, which even though it was a cover, it still sounded like it could have been an original.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna think that that's their style because that's what those two sounds kind of are. Those I couldn't think of the other one. What's the one with Hayley Williams?
They did a song with Haley?
Isn't that maybe then it wasn't her, but like I felt like there was a song where like there was the female. Yeah,
Oh,
wasn't it
that
Hayley?
was If It Means a Lot to You, but unless there's another one that I'm unaware of.
Maybe it's not her, but I thought it was her. Oh no, it's Sierra K. I'm a jerk. She had the same. Don't yell at me, everybody. I'm sad. You're all mad at me. Everyone that heard it's like, oh, you say, yeah, no, I know, I messed up. I'm sorry.
Everybody gets one.
Tell him, Peter. Why am I brain farting on the other album I was trying to say? Because I said If It Means a Lot to You, and I did Since You've Been Gone, which is the Kelly Clarkson cover. That's embarrassing.
Yeah.
But again, it was the same thing. Like, you know what I mean. It was that kind of a sound.
Yeah. It was very poppy with just a little bit of like crunchy guitars sprinkled in there. In the case of Since You've Been Gone, like a little bit of some harsh vocals. But then you're like, oh, put on Second Sucks or You Be Tails, I'll Be Sonic. And it's like, okay, this is the same band.
Right. And that's just it. To hear that extreme difference of all that stuff, and then like, yeah, it would be hard to just say like you found those two songs like that. But then again, when we can pull out this element where we can say like, actually,
yeah,
you could have done that with this band right here that we know a lot about, or even this other band over here. Like,
yeah, I mean, a big example for me that contains all the things that we say would make a band metal that I don't consider a metal band is Dance Gavin Dance.
yeah,
They're not a metal band. They have
that's
harsh
what
vocals. Yeah, they have harsh vocals. They have crazy breakdowns and distortion and all that. But they're not a metal band.
No, that's right. I would agree.
One of the things I appreciate most in bands is the ability to just do different things. There is something to be said for consistency. You take a band like Breaking Benjamin or August Burns Red. They're good bands. I like what they do. But you could play an album from 20 years ago side by side with an album that they put out today and be like, I'm not sure which one's which.
Right.
That doesn't mean it's bad if they're releasing quality music. It just means that they found their niche and they don't really go outside of that. But if it works, it works. So what's the problem?
Right. Couldn't have said it better myself.
So in this case, I want to dive in and see if this is what they do or if there's something else at play here that hopefully I'll be like, ooh, I really like that. Or if it is just this, it's obvious that I really like it because I was like, yeah, let's do this song. And there's another song that they do that sounds like this song and I really like it. So if it's just more of this, I'll also be happy. Win-win.
Can't complain.
Yeah.
Exactly. I was going to say, can't complain. If it's hit, you can't complain.
Yeah.
I was having a hard time figuring out what those songs were, and I'm still hung up on it in my head that I couldn't pick out the titles that I wanted.
Oh.
I hate that my brain does it sometimes. You valiantly got us out of that, though, so I thank you for that. I'm just still hung up on that for some reason.
I'm trying to, like, are you thinking there is another song that had a female vocalist in it?
No.
Or
Just like another one that was just more of like, you can pick out
ballady?
a couple of their different ballads, because they're, like we were saying before, like they had like one or two on their first album, and there was like one on the next, and then there was like four, but they were like, some of them were a little bit heavier. So it's like, yeah, it sounds like more like a pop punk than like a too romantic, but there's a lot less grunge and a lot less screaming, which is weird because like, I don't know, I really liked his voice. I really liked the way he screams. So that
Yeah.
was just like, to see it like leaving, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
But then like they just kind of made a big flip all of a sudden on like an album or two, and then it just never continued back that way. And it was just like, oh, well, that's the path they're going. I'll just love what I loved about them when I did, and just, you know,
Yeah.
have to deal with it in that sense. So yeah, I'm hoping to hear what else they have, because like with 12 Foot Ninja, I'm very confused. Not confused. Jesus. With 12 Foot Ninja, I'm very optimistic about what they have to play. I want to hear what else they have to see why they call themselves metal. Because if this is what it is, then I mean, I can't tell you the amount of times where I thought something was classified as one type of genre and it was another. So whatever. I want to hear what it has to be and see what they have to offer, because if they have more of this, like we were saying earlier, his voice is awesome. I could listen to him sing if he has other, like if this is what the general sound is. I like this a lot. It has like a I was wondering if it was like one of those when you said metal, I was wondering if it was like one of those bait and switches, like early Emarosa versus later Emarosa. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with either side of their catalog. They're both fantastic. You just have to be prepared to hear what you're going to hear. Like if you want early Emarosa, okay, listen to early Emarosa. If you want later Emarosa, okay, that's okay too. But they are very different sounds for very different days.
Yeah, they're basically a completely different band. I mean, different singer, different style, so yeah.
Which is crazy. Why keep the name of the band then?
But name value, brand value, I guess.
Fair.
But yeah, I was gonna say most bands that associated with Johnny Craig changed their name, but that's not really true. That's just slaves, and they were like, you know what? Maybe that name isn't politically correct. Let's change it. I think it had less to do with Johnny Craig and more with calling themselves slaves.
I would agree.
They're Rain City Drive now, so it's okay.
Oh, that's fine. I want to know if Emarosa would play any of their early stuff ever on tour.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I feel like it's Peach Club and After from... I really think that's where they're at.
Can you imagine like going to the concert and just constantly calling out like all the songs from the early album, and everyone in the audience is like, what is he talking about?
None of those guys are even in the band anymore.
They don't go here. That would be funny though. I'd still have a good time. It'd more be for like, do it for the meme.
Yeah.
That's what I'll do with my fame if I ever get to that point. I'll just be a memer. You heard it here. Don't give me that power. I'll use it for bad.
Yeah.
I will be evil. You have been warned.
Evil. All right. I'm starting to quote SpongeBob. Let's wrap it up.
I was going to say, it's like one of those moments where that really bad joke where it's like, oh, I've given up doing drugs for good. Now I do them for evil.
Yes. That's up there with the good old, I used to do drugs. I still do, but I used to too.
Exactly. Man, we really went off on a long one today.
Yeah, that's what happens when we don't interact for a while. Our brains are just like, talk about all the things.
We're good for that. Well, at least we got B-roll footage, I'm sure. You can... Yeah. Oh, man, that's funny. Anyway, I do want to say, just because of the ADHD being really present today, that has nothing to do with anything to do with the song. The song was an absolute, blast for me. And I'm excited that you brought it to the table today, because we were talking before the episode started, and you were saying that you're having difficulties deciding what you want to pick. And I have this stuff at the beginning from when I was first writing down ideas and never got back to it. So I'm really glad that you did go back to it and grab this, because this was like I said earlier, it was interesting me in hearing a new sound, and it's making me want to go back into music, because like you said, I was on that same spot where I had a few days of just, I don't know what I want to listen to. I don't want to listen to anything, and instead of picking anything, it's just been whatever my kid put on, because I needed to find something that was so very different from what he had on, but definitely had enough of it's not a huge hard left where I'm not going to be into it. Because that's kind of what happens when you're listening to the people I was saying earlier, where it's poppy, but then this kind of has that funk pop fusion I was saying before. So I'll be able to switch into this, and it'd be different enough for me to really like it, but similar enough to not be a hard left.
Right.
So I'm excited for this to add it into my daily listens, which is why I said I'm probably going to listen to it before you do. And it wasn't to be a taunt. It was just like this was a really good play for me, so thank you.
Hell yeah. That's what we want to hear.
That's the name of the game. That's what we're here for.
Hell yeah.
You know what I will say that's fun about listening to old episodes, though, since I've been doing that lately?
What's that?
Hearing all the quote-unquote new taglines that we're going to always use forever and never go back to again.
Oh, do you have one right now?
Let the intrusive thoughts win sometimes.
Honestly, that's the one I remember most.
Right?
It's a pretty good one.
Dangerous,
though. Dangerous.
It's like, if you ever were to be the kind of people that did get to the point where we decided to make merch, we can put that, like, let the intrusive thought win in big letters and then, like, really small in, like, parentheses sometimes,
Yeah. Yes.
One of those, like, really, like, old school throwing it back t-shirts where it's like,
just black t-shirt, white text. Yep.
Yep. Could have been a bumper sticker. In fact, It might be.
We can make both.
One design, slap it on everything, baby.
Yep.
Efficiency. I think that it's safe to say that now's a really good time for you to listen to me talk about social media on a pre-recorded message brought to you by me. That's right, because important, long-winded information and ADHD don't mix. But I hope if you've made it to this point, you like what Scoops and I are doing, and hopefully you like it so much you want to shout it from the top of a mountain. But it would be a whole lot more helpful if you told your friends about us instead. Word of mouth or listening with someone is our favorite, but social media is also great, and you can interact with us there too. So please come by our Instagram, Blue Sky, or Facebook, where you can find us as The Feedback, or on Twitter, formerly known as Twitter /X, at @thefeedback_PC to see what's coming next, suggest a song, talk about our latest episode, or just talk about anything.
And now that you have gone and done all the social media things that we request of you to help us, I don't know, make money. If we make any money off of this thing someday, I will be ecstatic. But
even if it's a nickel.
Yeah, exactly. I would like to give a shout out to the artist who makes our intro and outro music, Exile. Creates some jammy tunes that I like to listen to on my own time. I've spoken about this before. I don't know how many times I've heard that song editing our podcast, putting it at the start and finish, and when it comes on my shuffle, I'm still like, this is a good song. What a good song.
Hell yeah.
So go check out Egg by Exile and check out all of the other music that Exile creates. And I think that's gonna do it for us. Any final thoughts?
No, other than you'll hear more from me about this band next time we talk.
Hell yeah, I love that. Hopefully me too. But we'll see what happens when I get sucked back into the world of Expedition 33 and don't communicate with anyone for the next 48 hours because it's my weekend off. Anyways, that went places. Thanks for listening.
I'll miss
everyone. You. If you message me, I will respond. I won't just be like, I won't ignore you. All right. Thanks for listening, everyone. And see you next time for whatever we dig up next. Goodbye. That was a very stern goodbye. Are you prepared?
I am 95% prepared.
95%?
I just need to open up my notebook.
Oh, okay. That's 5%.
Yeah, I didn't have a lot to... Yeah, that's 5%. That's how little I had to do. I got everything else ready. I got my ink pen. I got my drinks. I got everything.
Hell yeah.
I can't read my own notes. It's like a secret message. You gotta pee on it.
Don't do that.
Or is that what it is? What, I can't remember. This is another thing I learned from The Office. Useless knowledge, I know, thanks to Dwight Schrute on The Office. If you write a message in pee and then hold it up to a dark light, it'll glow. or like something like that. Like you can use P for invisible ink.
I did know that, but also I learned that from The Office. But my like how? I don't know, man. I don't think I could be that precise. I think it would
Well,
just...
clearly you have to collect it and then...
Oh, okay. I guess if you do it straight from the source, like, it's gonna be...
I can only do that in the snow, and even then I can barely do my name.
Yeah.
I run out of material.